From your perspective, having to wade the waters through the African market, the international market, and then combining the two, because what you've successfully done is taken a lot of your talent that you've had here and taking them over to the first world, let's put it that way. And you've watched them explode.
Mm-hmm.
How much of that is serendipity, and how much of that is a reflection of the years of work you've been putting into the industry?
That's an interesting question.
Because often people talk about luck, right?
Yeah.
And we're currently sitting recording in Nigeria and Lagos. And one of the things with the show for me is, how do we demystify success? How do we...
I don't think it's luck.
Okay. Perfect.
I really don't think it's luck, because it wasn't like I walked into a room and I suddenly met Jeff Bezos and he said, "Oh my God, I really like what you're doing. Come and manage an Amazon event for me."
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
I mean, I faced a lot of uphill struggles. I was blacklisted. A lot of my models were blacklisted from the mainstream agencies because we were viewed as racist and we were viewed as competition, and they just didn't like all of that thing around them, you know. So it wasn't luck from that perspective. It was a lot of hard work. I kind of see myself as like it's a bit like being a pathfinder.
Yeah.
You know, I had to clear the bush and cut down the trees, so the people that walked after me just walked straight through.
Yes.
I was the one that got the scratches and the bruises and were avoiding deadly snakes and that sort of thing. Do you understand? So it was very much hard work. And I think for me, it's always been about giving back. So it wasn't ever about the money. I've always loved what I've done or what I do.
Yes.
And I've always felt, and I say it to a lot of people, that if you do what you love, money will come.
1000%.
If you chase money as your primary thing, it is always very difficult.
It never comes. When I do that, it never comes. I'm like, hold on, I need to be commercial. Yes. And then I'm like, but I don't even know how that works.
So I've always been about doing what, and I think that's where the success has come from, because you've got to put in the hard work. You've got to be knowledgeable. Don't get me wrong, you've got to be knowledgeable. You've got to meet the right people as well. You know, you've got to provide the service that people want, whatever that is. It's a service that people want and they want to buy. And that level of excellence has to be there. So it's definitely hard work and persistence and consistency. Those two things are non-negotiable. You have to be persistent and you have to be consistent. Yes.
Amazing. Speaking of, I guess, then and now, you work a lot with young people.
Yes.
And you've seen, you know, you talked about your journey as a model. Now when you see I don't even know what 18-year-olds are. They Gen Zs now?
Gen Zs, yes, they're still Gen Z.
And the power of the internet.
If I had the internet when I started, I'll be a billionaire. Seriously. Because I remember when I used to do my bridal shows, I had to plan my advertising 6 months in advance because I needed to get my advert into one of the bridal magazines. And their cutoff date from their printing was most likely 3 months
in advance. Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
If I missed it, that's it. The only things left to me were potentially radios, if I was lucky, some newspapers, but then, you know, then it was The Voice.
Yes. That was it,
All the pirate stations is where we used to advertise in those days, you know. So that was how I got my advertising. Flyers. Yeah, you go around. Like, so we used to run a nightclub in the West End. And so me and my friend would go out at 4 a.m. in the morning, sticking flyers
in people's windscreens.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
You know, that was how we advertised and stuff.